What is up, everybody? In today's video I will show you how to add a player model, building, and music to your Gorilla Tag fan game. For this tutorial though, you need to have followed my Gorilla Tag fan game tutorial, because obviously you can't add stuff to your Gorilla Tag fan game if you don't even have a Gorilla Tag fan game. I will link the first video in the description, and let's get started. Okay, so now the first thing I will show you how to add is music. So what you want to do is you want to right click on game scene, game object, and create an empty game object. Call this music handler. Now you want to go back into assets. You want to right click, create folder, and call this music. This is where we will store our background music. Now we actually need to download music. So there is this website called Chosic. I will link it down in the description for you. And all you need to do here is go to download music. Now you want to search for the music you want to download. I'll search for lo-fi. But now this is very important to ensure that your music is legal for use. You need to click here where it says all licenses and click no attribution, and then click this arrow. Now it will lead you to all the copyright free music. Now I will just select this track. We can listen to it. So yeah, you just want to go here, free download, and your track should be downloaded. You want to go back into Unity, open up your music folder, then you want to go into your downloads and you want to drag your music file over to here. Wait for it to load, and now it has loaded. Once it has loaded, you want to click here in the hierarchy on your music handler, and you just want to drag loyalty-free music or whatever it's called to your music handler in the inspector, as you can see here. Now if we click play to playtest, you can see your music should be playing in the game. But now to actually mute the music, we are gonna add mute buttons. So what you wanna do, if you have followed my tutorial, you should have this handland folder. However, there might be a chance that you are not on the latest version. To check the latest version, you want to go into this file called debug logs. Now in debug logs, it should say the version that you have installed. Now you want to go into this link that is also labeled here. And now it will say that the latest SDK version is 1.2. My installed version is also 1.2, so that is good. Now if you actually can't find the debug logs, it also means you're not on the latest version, because the first version 1.0, doesn't have this debug log thing, and the latest version is 1.2. Now you want to go into the Handland SDK, and if you don't have the latest version installed, then you just want to click here on Handland SDK. You want to download the file, and you want to open it up. And yeah, as you can see, since I already have everything, it says nothing to import. But if you already have the latest version installed, then you don't need to reinstall the SDK. Now let's add our music mute buttons. So as you can see, we have here activation buttons. We want to put those right in here. And now we can put a wall to put these buttons on. Once it's on our walls, then yeah, it looks cool. Now we want to click on the green button here. We want to first click on them both, then click the green button, so only it will have the orange outline. On activation button script, you want to grab music handler and put it just in the target object. Then on deactivation button, on the red one, you can see the activation button script. You also want to grab your music handler. Now basically what it will do, the red button will mute the music, the green button will unmute it. So now let's move on to the next part, which will be adding building to our game. Now you don't have to do this, but if you want to add building, then it's really simple. All you need to do is click on PL Basic and remove it, and then you want to add PL Build, and you should have building. Basically how the building works is that when you press the trigger button on your controller, it just places a block, kinda similar to the Tech Tree Sandbox mode. But now moving on to our final part, I will show you how to add a custom player model and how to add a mirror so you can see the player model. So now what you want to do is you want to click on PL Basic, you want to double tap it, and now you can see here we have our player model and everything. And you can see if we open on PL Basic Gorilla Player, we open main camera, and we have player model, and then we have Tinker. If we remove this Tinker thing, it will remove our player model. Now this tutorial does not work with complex player model, it only works with simple player models. I'll explain what that means. So in most VR games, you have a complex player model where like when you move your hands, you basically can see that there's also a wrist moving with it. But a simple player model, you can only customize the body and you can't do anything with the hands, unfortunately. So now I will show you how to make a simple player model and how to import it to Unity. So you want to go in, like, I think the third link in the description, which should be Tinkercad. First you need to log in. Once you're logged in, you can just click create 3D design. Now wait for it to load. Now here we can click on the name, change it to whatever we want. I'll call it tutorial game player model. And now you can see we have in the side all of these shapes to pick from. As you can see, I'll just make a simple model. Here we have it, our model. We can drag this down a bit, or drag it up and do whatever we want with it. Yeah, so for now this will be my player model since I don't have the time to make anything complicated. So once you have finished making the player model, you just want to click export and export it as an OBJ. Now you want to go in your zip file and extract it. Now you want to go into Unity, and in the Handland folder, you want to click on the other folder that says models. You want to open that up. Then you want to go into downloads and drag your extracted folder in there. And you can see when we open it, we can drag in our player model. Now it will be very big, so we do want to scale it down. I recommend putting 0.01 on each of these scale things for a starting point. And it should be the right size. If you need to scale it up, then you scale it up. Now it's actually rotated wrong. So we want to drag it to where the player model is, and we want to rotate it on the x-axis minus 90 degrees. We want to drag it to where our old player model is. Put it exactly where it is. You want to make sure that this head is where the camera thing is. And now what you want to do is you want to click on Tinker inside player model, delete it, And now on our new tinker here, you want to drag it inside player model. And there we go, we should have our player model ready. But if you're making a player model, you do want to also go into PL build and do the same thing. Okay, now I have done the same thing on PL build. Now here on the top, you want to click back into scenes, and you can go back into assets just to exit that. And as you can see, we already have our player model in here. But now what's a player model without a mirror? So what we want to do is right click on game scene in the top here, and now we want to make a 3D object and make a plane. Now this is our little plane here. We want to rotate it so to face normally. You can scale it down to the size you want your mirror to be, because this will basically act as our mirror. We can rename this to mirror. Now we want to drag it all the way to the back here, or wherever you want to put your mirror. Now you want to right click on game scene again, 3D object. No, actually, don't create a 3D object. Actually, create a camera. Now you want to call this camera mirror camera. And now on your camera here in the inspector, you want to go ahead and open up output. Now you want to put target eye on none. And now you want to adjust your camera behind your mirror, as you can see, so it will look like this, so that this outline will go towards where you want to phase it. Now you want to go on materials in your assets. You want to create, and you want to create a rendering, and then you want to create a render texture. Now you want to call this mirror texture or whatever. Now you want to click back on your mirror camera, and now go back to output in here, and now drag mirror texture. What you also want to do is click on audio listener and remove it. And now you want to drag mirror texture onto your mirror. Okay, so now for some of you, the mirror might be upside down, so you just want to rotate it. But if the mirror is not upside down for you, then you can just leave it like this. If it is, then yeah, just make it upside down so it will look normal. And yeah, now we are done. So you just want to go into File, Build Profiles, and build your game. One thing that I should also mention is that if you want to upload your game and publish it, but you don't want to go to the MetaQuest store yet, since it's very complicated, you can use a third-party store. The third-party store I would recommend is itch.io. You can log in, then you can click on your profile, click on dashboard. You can click create new project, and on your files you can just put in your APK file. Okay, so now we are in our game, and as you can see, I have the player model right here. Everything looks good, and we can go into our music, toggle it on. You can see there's music. And now for the building part, you can see if we press trigger, it places down a block. And we can place down as much blocks as we want, as you can see here. Yeah, and as you can see here, we can even see our blocks in the mirror. And yeah, you can just build. So now your game, like if you haven't made anything and added building, your game actually has something fun to do.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next time.